Fun.
I've done this a couple hundred times, so I know.
Yeah.
Okay, coming back in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome back to the Business Hour. I'm Ron Camacho, your host. We're here with Jeff Mello of Evolution of Communication, the company, which you can learn more about at www.evolutionofcommunication.com. Don't leave our program to check that out.
Not yet. After the program, you can go there, please.
That's right. And we've been talking about a lot of different dimensions of digital marketing, digital medium, strategically, technically, and how it is that you can best leverage the new range of digital marketing and mediums with traditional marketing and mediums. And we had just been talking about website development and search engine optimization.
Right. Can I say one thing about that? Sure. Because I think it was important for people to know. When you said pick out one, but you threw out all those crazy words.
That's right.
Link building is a big part of search engine optimization. And what that means is Google, when they look at how many links, if you have a link on another website, driving back to your website, Google, it's called Google Juice, and Google looks at that and says, okay, if you have a link on, let's say you had a link for your company on the Wall Street Journal, let's just say, heavily trafficked website. Google will see that link's coming back to your website and say, okay, once again, they're trying to value your website. They're going to say, well, if there's a link coming from that high value website to your website, there must be some value to what you do. So when you talk about link building and search engine optimization, those are the things you're talking about. Are you out there on other websites, powerful websites, high-ranking websites that are driving links back to your website? Because that helps you with search engine ranking.
Right, and a lot of the listeners out there know that I'm a marketing strategist as well, and I do encourage my clients to try to take advantage of where it is they might appear. You know, even if you're thinking, well, I don't know how I can appear on other websites. I'm an attorney and I have a private practice as well. Do you practice in some other counties? Are you registered in some of these other counties?
Sure.
Are you on the bar associations of the other counties?
Right.
If not, make sure you are and
yeah,
try to add a little bit of information.
Right. How do you leverage that? How do you leverage what you do? It's where your market is. Once again, I talk about the consumer is the top of the first thing, but then it's also, well, where's your market? Is it Sandy Springs? Is it Atlanta? Is it Georgia? Is it the United States? Is it the world? You see how that circle goes, and then the strategies change throughout how that changes. So
cost per clicks and cost per conversion.
Sure.
Let's talk a little bit about that, Jeff, because I know a lot of people wonder about whether or not it's worth the investment. So let's.
Well, I'm a big proponent of pay-per-click, and that's Google. Meaning, when we talked about search engine marketing, there's two parts of it. There's the organic side, meaning when you do a search, you see the people below. That's organic to what you've done to your site, which I promote. I try to help my clients that promote that because it's free. The other side of it is doing those text ads that you see from Google. So I'm focused on there. You can do Bing, you can do Yahoo. But once again, Google's the majority, so you look at that. And it's, when you talk about cost per click, cost per acquisition, it's when you do those text ads, how are you then, where are you driving them? Meaning, that's when you hear about landing pages. Meaning, if you just put your URL, www. whatever, right? You drive them to your homepage. It's useless because you're not going to be able to track, okay, you'll know that someone came to your website, but then what do they do after that? And there's so much value in the data that's out there. I mean, that's the big thing about digital marketing is there's so much data mining they talk about that you can grab and see what people are doing and what content they're gravitating around. So when you know they're doing that, you focus that way. So when you talk about landing pages and different things, you put up a sale item on a Google ad, let's say. You're going to drive them to a landing page that promotes that sale item, that gets them to that next step. Okay, register to XYZ, send us your email, whatever you want them to do, because then you're close to that acquisition stage. But you can track that. Okay, they clicked on my ad, they went to this landing page, they did whatever I wanted them to do, they submitted in, and it goes into that. That's a whole conversation about a sales funnel. And that whole, how you get them through that whole funnel.
And you can access that data and have it be useful to you, so you know that they went to Mello women's shoes, and
sure,
a lot more information
and
about
where they went,
the transaction.
and where they went on the site, and if you have specific pages for different shoes and what people are gravitating towards. The reason why I like, when you look at search engine marketing and pay-per-click stuff is because you're paying for only what's clicked. So it's not like you're putting it out there, meaning we all know, we've both been in marketing for so long, and you go, okay, I'm putting these dollars out there, what's my return on investment? How do I judge? Meaning you cannot say, if you put a billboard up, you go, you know what, I can track everyone that comes in here from that billboard. You can't.
That's right. There's so many aspects. There's so many different traditional marketing and even some digital mediums that are less quantifiable than others.
Social media.
But it's knowing, right, it's knowing the ones which you can track in a way that you have metrics and measurability, and you have a good handle on the return on your investment.
It's funny because a big, I know we're jumping around here, but it's all fun stuff to me, and hopefully you too. But you hear about it, you know, with all digital marketing, and especially with social media, you hear companies going, well, I need the ROI on this. And I did a whole model. I have it up on. If you go to my website, you'll get this. It's on SlideShare for us, but they're screaming, I need an ROI model. I need an ROI model for social media. It's like, okay, get that completely. We do have to, once again, every dollar you spend, you need to justify. But what's funny is, what's the ROI on TV? Really tell me hard numbers on what, unless you're a direct response, we put that 800 number on, which is a tracking number, so you know, okay, I ran this ad, they called this number, that's hard evidence. If you're doing these branding ads, I go back to like a Macy's or these other, you know, Target or whatever, they don't have they do a lot of market research, they're major companies, but it's not, I ran this TV ad, I had 100 people come into the store, 10 people purchase these items, to get down to that granular, they don't. So it's kind of funny, let's keep apples to apples and say, if you have never done it really before, how are you going to all of a sudden demand it on the other side? When it's something that's actually a stronger direct connection with consumers.
And you know, test marketing is something that I always encourage my clients to do. So you can start to have a handle on where you're getting the return on investment. Pick a geographic region, put up the billboards, put up your 1-800 number, simply because you're getting from that area.
But will you remember the 1-800 number on the billboard? That's the thing.
No, that's
just
right.
speeding through.
No.
It's a whole, yeah.
Absolutely. we're saying we're going to compare that with
right.
what's going on the website.
Sure.
And then you'll have this better feel for what you're getting from that investment versus, and you know,
you jump to your website.
That's right.
See it.
And you know, we all know that there are better billboards, better placement of billboards, you know, higher traffic counts. Factor that all in, and you start to get this idea of, oh, okay, I can utilize some billboards, some traditional media, with some you know, website marketing. We probably should switch, so we don't forget this darling of digital marketing and media. We should not overlook social media. You know, it's still currently the darling of social media, and that's because it's still very, very, very effective. You know, it's a very effective tool for reaching people. We were already talking earlier about how you go from 5 people to 500 to 50,000 instantly. Yeah. Talk to the listeners, Jeff, about your personal general philosophy of how you can harness social media to improve your marketing effectiveness. Really? And then we'll drill down into any specific area.
What it comes down to, when I look at it from the social media aspect of it, is, and I do this in a lot of presentations for clients. I talk about that sales funnel once again, and it's between digital and traditional media. You're always trying to get new customers coming to your sales funnel that you want to sell a product or service to. But the key thing is, and it's overlooked a lot, is that look at that 80-20 rule, Pareto principle, and it's 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your clients, your key clients. So I know people are always in business are always trying to get the new customers, but what about the existing customers?
Right, and I just want to interject here, Jeff, and Jeff actually put on a great seminar recently with the Sandy Springs Perimeter Chamber of Commerce, and that's where I was initially exposed to Jeff's presentation on the big picture of social, of digital marketing and media, and then we talked about social media as a subset of that. I should point out for anybody who out there who is thinking and never heard the concept about the 80-20, 20% of your consumers are oftentimes 80% of your revenue. That's not a hard number. It could be 70-30, it could be 60-40, but 80-20.
But in general, it shows up. You look at it from every
number that has been around, and you have found that 1/5 of your consumers very often are responsible for 80% of your sales.
They're a heavy consumer, and they're the ones that are repeat customers and that are spending the majority of the dollars. So where we go when we talk to that you know, sales funnel, once again, it's these using these communication channels to bring people into your sales funnel. But once you sell them, it's how do you keep them? How do you keep touching them? When you look at traditional methods, and you look at companies, what they used to do, you know, direct mail, you know, you're doing the inserts in the newspaper, you're doing, you know, you're doing the traditional marketing to get the new customers, but it's also to remind them that you're there. Because once again, it's what you say, how many times you say it. Social media has such, meaning one of the biggest strengths of social media that I talk about is once you've sold a customer in and you brought them into one of those channels, whether it be Facebook, whether it be LinkedIn, whether it be Twitter, you're all of a sudden touching your customer consistently because you're building that relationship. Because once again, where we are in the world now is consumers want to have a relationship with their company. They just do. They want to go beyond that logo, beyond that brand symbol, and say, and like peek behind the curtain and say, what's your company all about? What are your philosophies? What are your beliefs? And how can we work together? Meaning, I'm buying from you, so I like your service or like your product. But what can I get more? Or what if I have a problem? How can I get to you quickly? Social media opens up a lot of channels for just keeping your customers coming back to you.
Right. There's so many ways that companies are exploring customer loyalty programs, and social media is a great way to develop a loyal consumer.
Or problems. Meaning, a customer has a problem. Social media is such a great way for it. If a customer has an issue, that they can reach out. And you can say, I have this problem with this product, or I'm having this issue, and boom, if you're doing the right stuff, listening, and you're using these channels, you identify that, and you come back and help them.
If you're a good company, and you get a mass response about a problem, but you take care of it, that word gets out.
And that's what I was going to say, and I didn't say before, is that, and I don't have the percentage here, but it's a high percentage that consumers just want to be heard. And it was, I'm thinking the 80% range, that if you address a problem, that consumer will come back to your store. That they just want to be heard and addressed. So that's all you need to do. Just listen, learn, and engage. Is what my company talks about. That's what you want to do.
And share your philosophy, Jeff, about why it is you get truly the most bang for the buck if you link something like social media and marketing with traditional media marketing.
Because but I'm glad you asked that question, because I don't want to be. I'm an interactive agency. I focus on digital, but I have all the traditional side too. Until there's no one listening to a radio station or watching TV or even buying newspapers, there's an audience there. So you do have a mass audience that you can drive with your message. So you drive them from just the general concept, drive them into these channels. The thing is, it's like the last mile, let's say. You drive them into these social media channels, all of a sudden you can engage with them. And it comes down to engagement. Once again, mass communication is not engagement, it's a one-way message, where social media is two-way conversation. You're all of a sudden listening to the consumer, and that's the most powerful thing, because consumers will tell you if you're right or wrong. If they're on your side, we talked about sometimes people negatively speak on blogs or out there in the internet world, or the online space. If you have enough people that are pro your company and pro what you do, there might be one bad post or whatever, but a lot of times, if you're doing things the right way, all these fans or people that are behind your company will pop in and say, you know what, I've had great experiences there. You might have had that experience, but really, I'm surprised because XYZ they do. And that's powerful. The power of the crowd is what's amazing.
It's the interactivity that makes social media.
There it is. It's right.
We're going to take a break here. We're with Jeff Mello.